Hey everyone, it's DEFCON here, and I'm just going to quickly do a player bot spawning mechanism here that will let you bring in up to 4 people into a level and spawn them as bots before you even see this entry point, and you'll just basically start into a level. It's a dark matter 4x4, doesn't really matter, but it's a good size to work with. Alright. Thing you'll need is a controlinator as usual. And we're going to set up one set, so we're going to set up the controlinator and the bot for this, and then copy it for the other 4 players. So the first thing I'll do is set up the transmission of it, which is on blue, and disable the pop-up controls, and again make it the radius cover the entrance of the level. Alright, so automatically enter as well. I like to make sack bots a bit bigger than they normally are. They look a bit more detailed when you make them larger. So just open up your sack bot here. And you need to change one thing in the sack bot and add one item to the circuit in here. Or actually, do you? No, yeah, you do. You need to add the controlinator. So just copy the controlinator you had on the other, or on the dark matter, and then just change it to receive. Voila, done. And then push square over your sack bot and make the costume player owned or copy owner. So whoever's sitting in this controlinator controlling this sack bot will have their costume on it. The only thing they won't be able to do is change the expression on the actual sack bot, so keep that in mind. Okay, so let's just make our level now. Just gonna make a basic platform, and the big reason why I was doing this is that I'm gonna do a couple videos regarding platformers coming up, and this is really the best way to start a platforming level is that the game already knows how many people are in it, and you make it really simple, and then you just spawn them. And the whole advantage of using the sack bots is that you can control their gravity, and you can add extra things that you couldn't add to a normal sack bot or a sack player. Because the sack people that you have is just, you can grab and that's pretty much it, or you can hop into a controlinator, whereas with a sack bot it can incorporate a whole bunch more onto a sack bot as opposed to a player. Okay, so this emitter is going to emit this player into the field, so we'll just go ahead and grab that sack bot right now. Okay, now set the emitter to emit once, or one shot, frequency of 1, and a lifetime of infinity. Max is also going to be at 1. You do not want to destroy it when the max is reached, so if something triggers the emitter again for some strange reason and you're running somewhere, you might just disappear for some strange reason, so you want to turn that off. And just connect this active output, I think it's, yeah, the output active to the emitter. So now when I spawn into the level, I'll spawn automatically into the controlinator, which will automatically spawn my bot, which I control through my controlinator. Cool, that part's done. So how do I make the transition of not seeing this entrance to this level up here? Well, that's pretty simple. First thing I'll do is I'm just going to put down some basic logic here, so I'll just put in an OR gate. And we want to focus our attention on the platform, so let's put a camera up there. Alright, so just set up your camera. Now this camera, and the camera is a really big part of actually making it feel like a platformer, I find. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of the settings that I'm going to use when I do the platforming. Disable controller you want to set to no. And then flatness, this is the part 5. It looks really, really good like this. I like this look. And then you can actually limit the sack bot from changing layers, which even better makes it even better, because a player you can't stop from moving forward and back unless you put an actual wall between the layers. So this is a way of cheating that system as well, on top of adding more boost to the player. Okay, so just connect the output of your OR gate into the camera, and again the active output of the controller into the OR gate input. If I were to instantly turn on the camera as soon as I come to the level, I might not actually even spawn at all. That's the one tricky thing with cameras, is that you need to have the players spawn first, and then you can change the camera, or else the players will just never spawn, and you'll be looking at a dead game, essentially. Okay, now when we start the level, there's going to be one other thing that we're going to see. We're going to see the glowing bright lights, and we're going to see the bright background. We don't want to see any of that stuff right away. So I'm just going to go ahead and put down 2 lighting materials, one to make it dark, and one to reset it back to the brightness. So I've placed this guy down here without changing any of the settings, and that's it carries the same attributes as what I have set in the global settings. So what I mean by that is if I go into my tool bag, and I go over to global controls, everything that I've set in here, like so if I were to put it all foggy and stuff and I were to put it down, it would be set in that, I believe. I could be wrong, actually. This has 20% fog in it. Yeah, I'm wrong. Oh well, whatever. Usually that's my case though, is that I've come to experience that. Maybe they've changed that from the past. There's been a lot of updates for Little Big Planet 2. Okay, so that one's normal, I'm happy with that, and then the other thing I need to do is make this one dark. Just put down a battery. So right away, as soon as the level starts, this is already active. We don't care about anything else but making this dark lighting tool turn on. So there we go, I've made it nice and dark. Oh, and change your transition time to 0. So you're not seeing a gradual change, it just instantly turns on like you just started the level. So there we go. So I'll just show you a quick test run here, and this is not complete actually. There's 2 other things I'm going to add here. So sure enough, I spawned, but you saw me come into the level there. We don't want to see that. So how do we get rid of that? Let's go back into create mode. Well, I just sort of cheat it, and all you do is stick a big piece of dark matter right in front of everything. So let's just do that right now. Done. I'm just going to hide it and do one other thing, which is add in player 2, just to show you that this does work with other sackbots in it. And we'll leave them as the rabbit, so you can see that it will change to the player 2 sackbot. So the only thing you need to change is that the right controlinator that I have has to be on a different control frequency, so we can discriminate between the actual two things. So this guy right here, I want to make purple as well. And now they're independent from each other. The only thing left is to spawn an emitter up here for the player. And copy the player. You want the purple controlinator to obviously emit the purple controlled player, not the blue controlled player, else you'll never have the proper player out there. Okay, and then just take the active output of my purple controller, plug it in there. Also stick it into the OR gate. If you have 4 players, you're going to have a 4-port OR gate with all the emitter outputs or the active outputs going into that gate, because you never know what cockpit or what controlinator he's going to hop into. Okay, so we'll just go and nicely hide all this stuff behind. Voila. Alright, let's try it out. So sure enough, you didn't see any of the spawn at the start. That's it for that. Now let's test the 2-player part. The first thing, the glitch with the 2-player part is I'm going to turn on my second player right now. They won't spawn until you restart the level. So just to show you, see it doesn't spawn. That's because I don't see the entrance. If I were to see the entrance, then I could spawn him. So maybe a little idea would be to add a quick snap button with the camera, where you push the button and the camera just snaps back to the entrance for a second, turning off the lights and then spawning the player and then snapping right back. That could be one way to do it. Alright, so let's just go to replay. Cool, so there you go. 2 controllable sackbots, and stay tuned for some more videos. I'm just going to refer to this as the bot spawner, or the player bot spawner, because essentially just put 4 of these down, and it doesn't matter how many people come into a level, it's going to spawn according to how many people are present. So, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.